So part of what brought me to paleo was health concerns and looking to all kinds of alternative health options for me to take care of myself because the mainstream health system didn't work for me. And I guess what my question is like, do we have a shot at improving our food delivery system? You know, like, is the paleo movement, or whatever we're calling it, you know, do we have a shot at fixing the system? And I know, Rob, this is an area that you have particularly focused on with the Farm to Consumer Legal Defense Fund and all that stuff. So that's just like a concern I have, you know, it's just with the change, or with the changing in our environment and the corporate greed around almost every aspect of our culture. You know, how are we going to save our food? How are we going to save, which means, you know, our environment, so that we can, you know, maintain some level of health? Because I think we're sort of arrived at a place where we're really seeing the effect. And I feel like a fortunate person, because I can afford to pay extra for ghee, and I can afford to pay extra for some of my lifestyle choices, but you know, I can't do it alone. And you know, I need a healthy community to, I think you get where I'm going with this.
To me, it's interesting. Like, you can vilify, you know, like corporate greed, for example, or whatever. And in some ways, I'm not even sure what that is. Humans always move towards a desire for personal enrichment or betterment, and we also have these huge desires for, you know, frequently communal or community type activity. And I don't think the two are mutually exclusive at all. Part of the way that we are going to fix this problem is actually going to be from profit-motivated individuals trying to create systems that are self-sustaining throughout perpetuity, you know, and that's going to mean money. And so that's where, you know, Chris Kresser and I gave a talk in Boulder, Colorado last weekend, and there were like 100 people that showed up at this talk, and we were just kind of commenting that when I first found out about this whole paleo diet concept, there were fewer than 100 people on the planet that could articulate anything about what a paleo diet was. And now we have this room, what are there, like 200-300 people in here? And so like the ability to start changing this stuff is real, and it's legitimate, and interestingly, it's going to be largely economically driven, whether we're talking about the healthcare system, whether we're talking about the food production system. Yesterday, Mark mentioned some of Alan Savory's work, and you know, there's a lot of doomsday stuff out there about like, how do we feed the world and how do we do this different stuff? We have this amazing technology that is both very high order on the one hand, but very simple on the other. And what Alan Savory has done with this holistic management of livestock is just fascinating, and it's probably the way that we could sequester tons of carbon back into the soil, renutrify the soil, feed lots of people, create more decentralized local food distribution, and there's a lot of money to be made there. And so you know, it seems like win-win all over the place. There will definitely be entities that don't like this, that will fight it, et cetera, but that's the nature of markets in life. Like, there are always going to be competing interests, and folks that want things to go one direction and other people that want it to go a different direction. We just happen to be right, and we're in good shape, and we can beat people's ass. So that's what we're going to do. So.
And just as humans are sort of wired to be greedy and self-absorbed and look out for themselves and their families, we're also wired to seek out crunchy, salty, fatty, sugary substances to consume. So the corporate entities that develop these things are just satiating our desires. We're the people who create the need for that. We're the ones, not we, the present company excluded, but
yeah, because that paleo granola wasn't salty, crunchy, sweet.
No. You know what I'm saying. So, but these are so. We also have a cultural hurdle to overcome, because right now the way the economy works is based on an individual who is seeking out the crunchy, salty, sugary, whatever, middle of the aisle, middle of the store kind of stuff, that that the corporations are making because they're just trying to appease their shareholders. So it's all economically driven. And right now, we're just a small group of buyers who are sort of calling out for the kinds of foods that we would willingly purchase on a regular basis and embrace and advocate for other people to. So, we're voting with our dollars right now. So we're headed in that direction. And I think that, as frustrated as I get about the small size of the paleo primal ancestral world, because it is minuscule, we're making progress, and we have. I mean, you look downstairs, and there's how many brand new companies that are selling products that fit what our needs that we asked for, and they have created and filled these niches, and it's just going to get better and better. And really, I think the challenge for us is to go outside of our own space and take these same foods to other people and say, hey, this stuff is pretty good. You should check it out. Oh, by the way, it's healthier for you than the crap you're buying on the center of the aisle.